Hi everyone, welcome back. If you are looking for an affordable dip powder starter kit, this kit from AzureBeauty is definitely calling your name. Look at the packaging right off the bat. It is beautiful. I love the attention to details. The packaging feels very luxurious. So we're just going to go ahead and open up this box here. And this kit right here has everything you need to get started. So if you've ever been interested in dip powder, this is a great kit to have. Or if you already are on your dip powder journey and you are looking to build up your collection or try some new liquids, this starter kit is a great option because you're going to get some new colors and then you can try these new liquids before you commit to the bigger bottle. So this is everything that is included in this kit. We have some beautiful colors to transition us from Valentine's Day to springtime, also winter colors in here, so it's really pretty. So I figured we're in January, let's do a little bit of a winter set today. We're going to be doing a set of press-ons and we're going to start off here with the most gorgeous blue tones, and I figured we'll just go ahead and try out all these blues and see how they perform so you can really get a good feel on how these liquids apply and how these colors perform as well. So we are using the shape medium almond today, and I'm just applying that dip base right underneath that cuticle line, and then I'm going to work that product up in a little bit of this brand in particular, the AzureBeauty brand. This particular one, a little bit does go a long way, so just keep that in mind when you are applying the dip base. Make sure you have a very small amount on that brush so you're not oversaturating that nail, because if you have too much product of that dip base on the nail, you're going to tend to build up a lot of bulk. So to help reduce the bulk factor, just make sure you have a very thin layer of that dip base. So right off the bat here, we are dipping into the color 127 that is in the kit. And we have this beautiful light dusty blue. It's really pretty. It's definitely giving me the Frozen Elsa vibes here, but I love this color so much. So you're going to notice throughout this video, anytime, even if you are not making a set of press-ons, anytime you are dipping into the dip powder, you always want to make sure you are pressing everything down to really make sure you are keeping that shape of the nail. And that is definitely key when you are making press-ons, that you are taking that extra step just to make sure everything is laying super flat and pressed down so you are keeping that shape to the nail and you are not bulking it up. So we dust it off and we're moving on to that second layer here of that dip base, and we're going to build this color up even more. Now you don't necessarily need to dump the dip powder out into that cupcake liner like you see here. You can also dip into that jar, but I just wanted a little bit more wiggle room here, so that's why I prefer using that cupcake liner. So check it out. We have the most gorgeous blue here. It's definitely giving me those chilly feels, and this is a perfect kit right here because right now we are making a very wintry kind of set right now, but the colors in this kit are great for Valentine's Day and spring, so you're going to get to utilize this kit for the majority of that springtime, which is really nice. I really like these colors in here, and you can see that these powders are really finely milled. If you are not making a set of press-ons and you are dipping directly into the jar, these powders are very finely milled, so they feel very velvety and buttery. So we're going to give this a good dust here, and we're going to move on to the other nail. I decided we were going to incorporate this color on the pinky nail as well, but I only ended up doing 2 coats of all of these powders that you're seeing here because I really like the color payoff. Now if you're looking to build up the color even more, you can definitely go ahead and do 3 coats. You could even do 4 if you want, especially if you are dipping on your natural nails and you're looking to build up that strength. You can definitely go ahead and build up that color to your heart's desire, but I really liked the color payoff that we were getting with that 2 coats. So that's what you're going to see here today. We're going to end up doing 2 coats of all 4 of these colors so you can get a really good color comparison here and see how these powders perform. So I'm going to give it a good dust off, and right here you can see 1 dip versus 2, so it does look good by itself with that 1 coat. You kind of have like this milky icy blue. It's really pretty. We're finishing up this nail here. We're going to do another very thin layer of that dip base. You can see here I'm starting right below that cuticle line, and then I worked that product all the way up to the nail here, and then I am going to go ahead and wipe off that brush on a paper towel before I stick that brush back in the bottle, just to make sure we are not getting any of that extra dip powder inside that bottle to prevent contamination. And then we're just going to go ahead and just gently press everything down here just to keep the shape of the nail. So this is a press-on, and how I apply my press-ons is I will actually use that dip base that you see here. I'm going to go ahead and apply that dip base on my natural nail. I like to start with my pinky first and then work my way to the thumb. So I'll put a little bit of dip base on my pinky nail and then a little bit of that dip base on the back of the press on, and then I'll go ahead and angle it up right below the cuticle line, make sure it's exactly where I want it, and then I'll go ahead and press that nail down, and I'll hold for a full 30 seconds, and then I'll move on to the next nail. I just feel like the dip base, especially the AzureBeauty one, really holds my press-on sets than using a traditional nail glue. I feel like I get the best longevity and wear time when I use the dip base. And that's just my personal preference. That's just what works best for me. I'm a busy mom of 2 boys, so I'm very hard on my hands, and I have not ran into any issues when it comes to using the dip base to apply my press-ons. Now right here on this nail here, you can see I have a little bit of that dip base that was still wet, so I'm just going to go ahead and dip that back into the cupcake liner, and we are good to go. Don't be afraid. If you have any areas that look a little wet still after you dipped it into that powder, just go ahead and dip that nail back into the powder, and it's going to go ahead and absorb any of that extra dip base that may have not got any powder onto it yet. So check it out. We have this gorgeous blue. It's still pulling in that beautiful iciness, but this one, compared to the other one that we just used, this one has a more of a like white iciness to it. It's really beautiful, and I feel like it just complements the whole color scheme that we're going to be playing with here. Once you see it all completed, you're going to really see these colors just go so well together, and I'm totally loving the blue side of it. Even if you are not a winter fan and you just love blues, these colors right here are fantastic. So I have used AzureBeauty dip powders before, and I do really like them. I feel like if you are just starting your nail journey and you are looking to start dipping and you just want to see if it's going to be right for you, this kit right here is a very affordable option for you to dabble into that hobby. And the liquids are fantastic as well. If you never tried the AzureBeauty liquids, definitely pick up this kit, because then you can get some new powders, which are always fun to play with, and then you can test out these liquids as well, because they are in these little sizes, so you could test them out before you commit to that bigger size. So that's always a plus. Like trying dip liquids is always, for me, something that I enjoy doing. I like feeling like the different viscosities and seeing the different dry times, and this one right here is really awesome. I would say it's not on the thinner side, it's more of a medium viscosity, and a little bit does go a long way, so that's why I do like this one. If you are looking for an odorless dip liquid, AzureBeauty also has an odorless dip liquids, and those are fantastic. I did a video a few weeks ago using those, so definitely check that out if you are in the market for some odorless dip liquids. Those worked amazingly, and the packaging was so beautiful. So now we are just building up this color here. This one right here, it's very beautiful. It has the most like ethereal glitter coming through. It's really pretty, and we're going to give it a good dust off here, but this is giving me Arctic vibes, especially when we build this color up. But when the sun hits it, you can see like this very subtle shimmer. I almost wonder if you could chrome with this too, just the way that it has like this beautiful like sheen to it. I'm going to have to test it out to see if you can chrome with it, but it's really beautiful. This color right here, you kind of have almost like a jelly sheerness to it. I feel like doing some layering stamping over this color or some nail art would be really fun as well. This is a great background, especially if you wanted to incorporate any nail art, because you have like this beautiful sheerness to it, but yet you're still getting like those icy vibes. It's really pretty. So now we're going to go ahead and give this a good just pat down and making sure we're keeping shape of this nail. I feel like when I switch up my shapes, like this one right now is a medium almond. Normally my go-to shape is a short coffin, but when I'm working with the almond, I feel like I definitely have to spend a little bit more time in making sure I'm pressing everything down, just because we have definitely a longer nail than that short coffin, and then we have a different shape. So I'm always just like making sure we're just keeping that shape as best as we can. So now we're moving on to the last color here, and this one is going to give us a little bit of sparkle. We're going to add a touch of glitter here to this nail, and I'm always curious on a glitter when they're in one of these dip powder kits to kind of see how they perform. So I was very intrigued by this one, and I was surprisingly surprised how well this looks. So look at the coverage. We have really great coverage right off the bat, and we already have a lot of sparkle. It is not very sparse at all. We did pick up a lot of this gorgeous sparkle. Now, if you are looking to build up even more sparkle, you could always since we have that glitter powder into that cupcake liner, you could go ahead and shimmy that cupcake liner around, and that's naturally going to bring all those tiny glitters up to the surface, and then dip right into that area of those tiny glitters. Then you're going to really get the most impactful glitter punch here. But I'm really loving the coverage here. I was definitely surprised because a lot of times when you are playing with a fine glitter like this, the first time around you can tend to pick up a lot of clear powder, but I'm really impressed by the sparkle that we got from here. So we're going to build up this sparkle even more. Again, we're doing a very thin layer of that dip base all the way down the nail here, and then we're going to go ahead and dip back into that cupcake liner. Now, if you are working with glitters and you have a little bit of glitters on that brush, this kit also comes with a brush cleaner. So what you would do is you would just stick this brush into that brush cleaner and shake it about, and then all those glitters should just disappear from that brush, and then you are good to go. All right, so here's our blue sparkly nail. I'm loving this. It's very pretty, and it's like the perfect pop of blue, and we added a little glam to this set as well. So overall right here, I'm very impressed with this glitter. And the only thing that this kit did not come with is a clear powder. So a lot of times when you're working with glitters, you want to go ahead and protect them with a layer of clear, because when you are filing and buffing, you could go ahead and cut into those colored glitters. And underneath this blue glitter is probably a silver layer. So then you would go ahead and cut into those glitters and it won't look as vibrant and beautiful as you see here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and apply a layer of clear to this nail. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing. You're going to apply that dip base to the entire nail here, and then you're just going to go ahead and dip into that clear just like you would with any other powder, and then that's going to give this nail a protective barrier. When it comes to that final step of that filing and buffing, you're going to protect those glitters, and this color is going to stay true to this beautiful vibrant blue that we have going on here. So I'm going to tap off that extra clear powder, and I'm going to do the same thing here, just press everything down. Even though it is a clear, I still want to make sure we are keeping this beautiful shape of this almond nail here, but you can see it looks a little foggy and now doesn't look as sparkly, but we're going to bring this nail back to life after all that filing and buffing, and you're going to see all that beautiful sparkle shine through. So do not let that clear powder fool you. It's still going to be beautiful when we get to that final step. Once that dip base is completely dry, I'm going to give this nail a good scrub just to make sure I'm getting rid of any of that extra clear powder. This is also going to go ahead when we get to that activator step. It's not going to be cloudy or anything like that. It's going to have a crystal clear finish. All right, so we're almost to that finish line. We're going to get into the activator, but before the activator, I just went ahead and just brushed everything off one more time just to make sure no powders went onto these nails before we went ahead with the activator. So you can see these nails, we're bringing them to life here. You're going to get to see more of that beautiful color shining through here. And I'm just applying a very generous amount of activator on all the nails here. And then we're going to let this activator, once we apply it to that last nail, we're going to let this activator sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. And when you tap on the nails, if they are hard and you hear a clacking noise, then you know these nails are ready to go for filing and buffing. But you want to make sure you're giving the nails enough time to set before you go in with filing and buffing, so then you are not taking any chunks away. If you start filing and buffing too soon, you will start taking bits and pieces of that dip powder off. All right, so we're using the buffer block that was in the kit. So I did not put a layer of clear on these solid colored nails because I really wanted to see how they performed during filing and buffing without that extra layer of protection. So we are going to go ahead and file and buff directly on top of this beautiful nail here, and I'm hoping that we're not going to distort the color. But right now I'm just using that buffer block. I'm making sure I'm getting right underneath that press on as well, so we have a good area of application. I want to make sure that there's no rough areas, because if we have any rough areas underneath that press on, then we're not going to have a good application when we apply it to our natural nail. So I'm just cleaning up the shape now just a little bit here with the file, and that buffer in the file is everything that was in that kit as well. And that little brush that I was using to dust off the nails is also included in this kit. So I'm going to go back in with the buffer here just a little bit just to clean everything up, and then we're going to go ahead and dust off, and that is all the filing and buffing. So check it out. Everything is laying super flat. The color, it does not look like I disrupted the color at all during filing and buffing. You can see everything is very thin. We don't have any bulk underneath that nail. Everything is looking really clean, and I really love, even though we did 2 coats, it's looking really good. The color is still shining through, and I'm just loving this color so much. So you can see the underneath side of that press on is completely clean. That is what you want, because then you're going to get the best wear time possible when it's time to apply these. But I'm loving this color so much, and I'm actually really surprised on how well these filed and buff, and they definitely stayed true to the color. So after filing and buffing, I'm going to go ahead and do another layer of activator on the nail, and we're almost to that final step here. And then this is when you're really going to see all those harsh filing lines from the filing and buffing just disappear with this layer of activator. So I did the rest of the filing and buffing off camera. Here's what we're working with here, and I did that activator. So once you are done applying that activator to the rest of the nails, I'm going to go ahead, before we go ahead and finish it and seal it with that top coat, I'm going to use this lint-free wipe and just go ahead and make sure I'm wiping any extra activator that may be lingering on these nails. We're just going to use that lint-free wipe and just wipe them off. That's going to prevent that top coat from contaminating, because if you've ever went in with your top coat with that layer of activator still on there, you could risk contaminating your top coat and hardening your brush. So we're going to go in now and we are doing 3 to 4 swipes on the entire nail, and then I'm going to go ahead and brush that off on that paper towel, and then we're going to move on to the other nail. So that first coat, you want to do 3 to 4 swipes, and you don't want to go over any areas that you just went over. And the next time we go in with the top coat for that second round, you can be more precise on your application, but starting right below that cuticle line, and we are working that up. This is a very satisfying moment, because you can see here the colors have this beautiful sheen to them. But these nails are going to get even better. We're going to bring this beautiful sheen to a shine. So now we're going to go in with another layer of that top coat. This time you can be more precise in your application. You can take your time. You can go over the nail a couple times if you want, and then move on to that next nail and just let it dry. It takes about a minute or two to dry. And if you do not want to use the actual dip top coat, you could, after you do the activator, you could go in with a gel top coat as well. If you are looking to avoid any flaking or peeling, if you just use a gel top coat, go in with a gel base, cure for 30 seconds, then go in with a top coat. You could even do a matte finish. You have a couple different options for a finish here, but we're just finishing up that last coat here on the pinky nail, and we're going to let this dry. And it dried in about, I would say, less than a minute, so just keep that in mind. And here's the finished set. I love this so much. It's very cold here in Wisconsin, so this set right here is perfect for all that chilly winter weather, and it's a good change of pace from all those Valentine's Day colors. I am loving these blues right here. Not only are they perfect for winter season, but these are great for spring, and this would be a great day for a beach kind of style mani for spring break or even summer. But overall, these powders worked really well, and even that glitter blew me away. But I really like this color combination, and the dip liquids also worked out really well. So if you are looking for an affordable dip powder kit, definitely check out AzureBeauty. If these colors in this kit were not your cup of tea, AzureBeauty offers a wide range of different dip powder kits. You're definitely going to find something that catches your eye. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one.